Hey friends, this is Wendy with Love and Stampin'. I got this in the mail. It's called Your Paper Insider. And if I remember correctly, I want to make sure I say this right. This is a paper box subscription. This company contacted me and asked me if they could just send me one of their boxes for free and would I review it for them. So that's what I'm doing. I've opened it, but I haven't opened it, as you can see. So I've never heard of this company. On this side it says special delivery, a new collection of hand-picked papers from around the globe. So when I opened it, it just had this beautiful paper on it. So I didn't want to tear into it until I was on film, because I want to give an honest review. So let's see what we have here. So I take it out. It's beautifully packaged. It says, Your Paper Insider. I don't know how to pronounce this. Gira Pearl Pink Terrazin Zen and Gira Pearl Pink cardstock. Inside the inside scoop. These two unique papers were made from Fukuai, I don't know how to say this, you guys. F-U-K-U-I province, Japan. This province is noted for their creativity in designing different looks of Western style papers. The luminous pearl coating is unique to these papers and is called gira, meaning sparkling. Gira refers to the silvery ink used to print the finish. Each Tarzan sheet has been silk screened sheet by sheet. Zen is, of course, a sect of the Buddhist religion that emphasizes the value of meditation and intuition. These papers were discovered on a recent trip, and we are thrilled to bring them directly to you. This box includes an assortment of solid cardstock in basic neutrals, an assortment of trendy color cardstock in shades of pink, teal, green, and yellow, a variety of unique specialty papers in various weights and finishes, and holographic papers, to just name a few. Handmade papers from Japan. Bonus, cold press watercolor paper. That is a bonus. Insider exclusive. As a subscriber, you have access to your Paper Insider exclusive content. Find inspirational ideas on how to use these papers, helpful tips, tricks, and paper knowledge. This month, we are sharing how to create home decor pieces using just paper. That's pretty cool. So let's see. We'll open this up. I'm really anxious to fill this. Okay. Oh, this is so cool. Look at that. It's shiny and like pearlized and iridescent. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, this is super cool. This is like a foil sheet. I needed silver foil. I'm so excited. Yay. Oh, this is beautiful. Super soft. And again, they didn't pay me to do this video. They're not sponsoring. I'm not an affiliate. Never heard of these people, but they just reached out to me on Instagram and said, hey, if we send you a free box, would you review it? And so that's what I'm doing. And this is gorgeous. Wow. Look at this. It's like pearlized. And then this is like that really soft, what I would consider like cotton paper. I know that's not what it is, but that's how it feels in my hands. Oh, look at this one. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. It's like spirally. This is glittery, but it doesn't come off on my hand. That's a win. Another glittery and teal. These are nice, heavy, thick weight. Very cool. Oh, this one's gorgeous. Look at that. Wow. How fun. This is fun. Okay, this is cardstock. It feels like probably 110-pound weight, maybe 80, but more like 100, 110. Okay, more cardstocks. Wow, these are beautiful. They're dyed through, so they're not white core. These are a little bit lighter cardstock, so there's some different. I love this color. You know me, I love my pinks. This is beautiful. Got a couple sheets of those. Okay, this one's textured. But again, it's not the white core. Then we've got, oh my God, this is so cool. I wish you could feel this. I wish you had feel-o-vision. This is like, I don't even know how to describe this. It's velvety almost, but not. It's a really cool, really smooth. Wow, this is neat. I bet this would look really cool embossed. I just have a feeling. Okay, and then this is like a shiny, pearlescent kind of textured. And then I think, is this just the back or is this a piece of the cardstock? I think it's a piece of the, oh, this is watercolor paper. Duh, I can tell by looking at it. It's watercolor paper. I cut it, opening it. I should have been more careful. Okay, so this is amazing. I would totally subscribe to get this every month. What a cool thing to have these papers to play with every month. And they're so unique. Some of them are so unique. Okay, I think I'll try to make a card using some of this. Wouldn't that be fun? Let's do that. And then I'll give you the link to this. It's yourpaperinsider.com if you want to sign up. I don't even know how much it is. I have to go look. Before I make the card, I'll check all that info out and then I will share it with you. Okay? All right. So for the first card, we are going to use these papers. I'm going to make a shape card. We're doing a unique shape card and I just need strips of this paper. I wasn't sure how the adhesive was going to look coming through some of that really soft paper that's from Japan, and it worked out fine. You couldn't even see the adhesive, really. It didn't even change the paper at all. It didn't warp it. It didn't do anything to it. So that was really cool. So here I'm just laying down all these strips of paper, and the base here that you see that I'm going to make the full egg out of, that is using one of the solid pieces of cardstock. So here I laid all my strips down, glued them down, die cut out an oval. I used the stacked oval dies. Let me look at the name of those. These are called Sweet Stacks Ovals from Honeybee Stamps. And it's been a while since I've had oval dies in my craft room, so I was super excited to get these. And then you saw there that I folded a piece of cardstock and I die cut off of the edge. So tip number one, when you are making a shape card, you need to create your folded edge wherever it makes sense. Okay. So like in this case for the oval, it made sense for me to make the side the fold area because it allowed for more length on the fold, if that makes sense. So basically I folded the cardstock in half, and when I die cut it, I just hung the die cut off the edge of the fold so that it didn't cut through the entire fold area. We are also using a stamp set called Easter, I think it's called Easter Bunnies. Yep, Easter Bunnies from the Rabbit Hole Designs. And this is a super cute stamp set. It has all, I've been using it actually the whole month of February. And I think this will probably be my last card using this stamp set, but it is just so darn cute. And up at the top, I've written all the colors I used for this Easter Bunny. And we're going to color it, and then I'm going to fussy cut this Easter Bunny out. And you can see I've sped the video up a lot because it takes a long time to fussy cut, especially something that has a lot of little edges and nooks and crannies like this did. And then I'm going to add dimensionals to the back, pop the bunny up on the front of this little note card, And then I'm going to cut out her little paint splatter that fell on the ground. And then we're going to do a die cut for the sentiment, and we'll be done with this card. So tip number 1 for shape cards is just that you have to die cut off the edge of the fold. You cannot cut through the fold. So you just fold a piece of cardstock in half. Wherever you're going to cut, you have to, wherever the card is going to fold, you have to make sure you don't cut through that area. Tip number 2 is create or die cut a second layer for the front. So on this oval you saw, I actually die cut that really soft pink oval to layer on top of this card. The reason you want to do that is because you lose the shape a little bit when you're die cutting off of the edge. So you always want to cut a whole separate piece to go on the front to cover the entire front. So here you can see that my oval is nice and oval. There's no straight edge. That's because the straight edge of this card is hiding underneath where I hung the die cut off the edge of the folded cardstock. As a final little embellishment here, I'm going to take one of my gel pens and I'm just going to make a little pattern going across the bottom here. And I'm just doing like a dash and a line, a dash and a dash and a dot, a dash and a dot. And I'm going all the way across the bottom. And that just, for me, added a little something extra. I thought about going all the way around the oval shape, but then I felt like that might be too much. So in the end, this is how I decided to decorate the card. And I really love how this card came out. And this is perfect for tucking into a little Easter basket. Or in my case, I send goodies across the US to Montana and to my little nieces. And so this would be a perfect little card to go in their box. Okay, these cardstocks are also from the Paper Insider, Your Paper Insider. Yes, that's what it's called. They are also from here. These cardstocks are really thick and heavy, and I love them. I thought they were beautiful together, and I wanted to use the new Primrose Garden set from Concord and Ninth. I picked this setup because I thought that the card that they made on one of their lives, I actually saw a live with Jennifer McGuire and Greg from Concord and Ninth, and they made a unique shape card using this, and I was like, well, I have to make one of those. So, and plus this is just gorgeous. I mean, you could do these, you could use this die set for any color combo, anything you wanted to. Sky's the limit. And so I grabbed all my nice bright colors from that Paper Insider box, and I wanted to see how they would die cut, and I wanted to see how they would take alcohol markers. So we're going to test out both of those things with this, if I can ever get the die set out of the package. I really struggled getting it out of there. But first we're going to make, oh, and this is the stamp set that goes with it. It actually fits with the little sentiment die cut right here. All these little pieces fit inside there. So I really want to show you how to do the shape part. And this is a really good example of cutting off the edge. And what I really did find is you could cut off the edge as deep as you wanted to, as long as you're going to make a front panel to cover it. So here, this piece is bigger than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So my brain went to work thinking, like, how am I going to do this? Now, hindsight's 20/20. After I did it, I was like, well, I could have just folded a piece of cardstock in half. But I got out a piece of 12 by 12 cardstock. I measured this and I realized, yeah, it's wider than 4 1/4 and it's taller than 5 1/2. So I needed to have a piece of 12-inch cardstock that I could cut so that when I folded this in half, it would be big enough. However, hindsight, remember what I said, 20/20? Actually, what I could have done is just folded I could have cut a piece of regular 8.5 by 11 at the 5.5 inch mark, folded it in half to make a 5.5 by 5.5 inch card, and just die cut off the edge of that. It would have been totally fine, and I would have just had a large panel that stuck up out of the top of the card, if that makes sense. It probably doesn't make sense the way I'm describing it, but anyway, so we're going to cut this piece of cardstock down, and I am going to quickly die cut the front. So we're die cutting the front piece along with this one is I think this is the 12 inch. Yeah, this is the 12 inch. So I cut this at 5.5 inch wide, and then it's 6 by 12, and then I scored it at 6 and folded it in half. So when I go to cut this, I'm looking at it now, deciding which side would be better down, like to be at the bottom for this card to stand up. And I decided the leaf pieces would be better at the bottom. So here I'm just turning it around to decide what part I'm going to hang off the edge of that fold. And this is what I'm referring to when you have to hang part of your die off the edge of the fold. And you have to decide how much of it. The more die you hang off, the more substantial your fold will be. So I could have scooped this down, but then my fold would have just had a couple of teeny tiny little spots to hold on to, and I didn't want that. So here it is after I've die cut it, and you can see the top edge is straight. That's where the fold is. So once I got my card base cut, then I needed to cut my panel that's going to go on the front. So to do this part, I actually layered the little stitch piece inside of the open panel piece, because I don't know if this is why this was created, but this is how it's working for Miss Wendy. The stitch panel piece was a guide for me on how to put this entire thing together. So I popped it into the center of this die, and then I went ahead and taped it all in place and ran this through my die cut machine. So you'll see when it comes out of the die cut machine that there is stitching basically that is all throughout here that just is going to act as a guide for me to layer all of my other pieces and parts onto this panel. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of other tips for unique shaped cards. So one of the things you need to pay attention to when you're making a unique shaped card is you have to ask yourself, do I want this card to stand up? So in my case, like with this card, it is going to stand up, and I'll show you that in the video. Here I am just cutting out all the little bits and pieces that I need from this cardstock to die cut all of these die cuts. And there I've cut them all out. So here, let me get back to this really quick. I'm using some Copic markers to color right on top of this cardstock. Like I said, I wasn't sure how it would look because this paper is not like what I would consider alcohol marker safe necessary or good for alcohol markers, because I don't know enough about the paper, but it worked great. I did it on the leaves, I did it on the berries, I did it on all the flowers except for the purple ones. And by the way, that purple cardstock is just Stampin' Up! Cardstock. I didn't have any purple in my paper insider pack, but I needed another color, so I used Gorgeous Grape. And here I'm lining all these pieces up according to that stitched piece underneath. So when you are creating a unique shape card, you need to consider the shape. Do you want the card to be able to stand up? If you want the card to be able to stand up, then you have to create with that in mind. The bottom part of the card has to be able to stand flat on a surface. So my oval egg card, for example, would not stand up, but that's okay. All I'm saying is when you are designing or creating with a card that is a unique shape, you want to think of that. You need to be mindful of that. Like if you have a square or a rectangle and you're die cutting off the edge or something, it's going to stand up. But it won't if you have something like an oval or a circle, unless you design it to do so. So just something to be mindful of. That was my last tip on unique shaped cards. Okay, so here I am using this Primrose Garden stamp set, and I'm going to ink up with Gorgeous Grape to match those grape flowers that I put on the card. And then we're going to add some sequins, and this card will be finished. So really quick, as far as story time goes, because I know we really haven't had much story time lately. Not a whole lot new is going on, if I'm being totally honest. My husband worked a ton in early, what was it? Late January? Mid-January? No. When was it? February? I don't know. My days are running together. Anyway, what have I been up to? Not much. It is my birthday today. As of the day that you're watching this, it is my birthday. And I am probably going to spend the day carting my daughter around, most likely. And I am going out, when I'm recording this video, it's Friday. You'll see it on Saturday, March 2nd. But my bestest friends, Laura and Milena, we're going out to dinner. And then my sister-in-law is coming with us as well. And we have never been to this particular restaurant before, and I've been wanting to try it out. So we're going to a restaurant for dinner tonight. I am not getting anything for my birthday. Well, that's not true. I am getting something for my birthday. It was funny. My husband asked, what do you want for your birthday? And I said, I want to go to Disneyland. So girls and boys, I'm going to Disneyland. Thank you very much. And so I'm not going this weekend, but I am going to Disneyland. I cannot wait. And it is just a girls trip. So I'm going with one of my longest running friends. Her name is Amy. And then my cousin Shannon, who you all know is like one of my very best people. She is flying in from Montana. And before any of you ask why sister isn't going, I'm going to tell you, because sister hates the idea of going to Disneyland. I would love for her to go to Disneyland. She would never. So it's going to be my cousin Shannon and my friend Amy. And you might be thinking, well, why not your best friends? Because they also hate the idea of going to Disneyland. Not every adult likes the idea of Disneyland. I, however, love it. So I really enjoy Disney movies. I grew up on Disney. I grew up going to Disneyland. I do live in California, so obviously it's not like I don't have to fly in for it or anything. I can just drive there. It is quite a trek, but I am planning to try to film some of it just so that I can like share it with you guys, because I think it's going to be so fun. I have never been to Disneyland as an adult by myself, like without kids. You know what I'm saying? It's always been with kids. And when you take kids, obviously it's about them. So I'm very, very excited to ride Pirates of the Caribbean 42,000 times and get churros and do all the fun things that I love doing in Disneyland at my own pace, when I want, however many times I want. We actually booked a tour for the Walt Disney tour where you go up into the top of some of the buildings and stuff, which I never would pay for a kid because it wasn't cheap and kids wouldn't appreciate something like that. So here's the card. This is probably one of my favorite cards I've made in a really long time. Love the bright, cheerful colors. And I will catch you in the next video, guys. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I hope these tips and tricks for unique shape cards helped you. And if you need any of the products, they are linked over on my blog. All the links are in the description below. And if you want to grab the Your Paper Insider, you can grab that too. Bye-bye.